The Zynthian war fleet emerged from hyperspace with the confidence of conquerors. 300 vessels, each bristling with plasma cannons and antimatter torpedoes, arranged themselves in perfect formation above Earth's atmosphere. Commander Vrask stood on the bridge of the flagship Eternal Dominion, his chitinous mandibles clicking with satisfaction. "Transmit the ultimatum," he ordered, on Earth. Catherine Chen sat in the Unified Defense Command Center, her fingers dancing across holographic displays. The message came through in broken English, translated by their linguistic AI. "Primitive species. Surrender unconditional. Resistance futile. You have 12 Earth hours." Kevin Martinez, standing beside her at the tactical station, let out a low whistle. 12 hours? That's almost polite by invasion standards. Catherine's dark eyes never left her screens. "They think we're primitive. Let them think that." She opened a secure channel. "All stations, initiate Protocol Omega. Kevin, get me a firing solution on their flagship." "Already done," Kevin replied, his hands moving across the weapons console. "Though I'm wondering if we should let them take the first shot. For the historical record." "Always the optimist," Catherine muttered, pulling up Earth's orbital defense network. Hidden satellites, disguised as space debris for the past 20 years, began powering up. They came to our house. They threatened our planet. History can record that we didn't wait around to be victims. The 12 hours passed slowly. The Zynthians, secure in their technological superiority, watched as Earth's governments apparently scrambled in panic. They intercepted desperate communications between world leaders, saw cities beginning evacuations, observed military forces mobilizing with adorably primitive kinetic weapons. Commander Vrask's confidence grew with each passing hour. These humans were exactly what the Galactic Survey had indicated, a barely spacefaring species, fractious and weak, still using chemical propulsion and nuclear energy. Easy prey. When the ultimatum expired, Vrask gave the order. "Commence bombardment. Target their population centers. Make it quick." The Zynthian fleet opened fire. Thousands of plasma bolts and dozens of antimatter missiles streaked toward Earth's surface. Enough firepower to crack they never reached their targets. Catherine had been waiting for this moment. "Now, Kevin." "With pleasure," Kevin said, pressing a single key. The disguised satellites revealed their true nature. Not debris, but gravitic field generators, reverse-engineered from a crashed alien probe 70 years ago and perfected in secret. The incoming Zynthian weapons hit the gravitational shear fields and simply ... stopped, hung in space, like insects in amber. "What?" Commander Vrask began. Catherine opened a channel, her face appearing on every Zynthian ship's view screen. "You bombed us?" "Cute," she smiled, and it wasn't a friendly expression. "Watch this." Kevin's fingers flew across his console, redirecting their payload back to sender in 3 ... 1. The gravitic field's reversed polarity. Every plasma bolt, every antimatter missile, every ounce of destructive force the Zynthians had hurled at Earth, suddenly accelerated back toward the fleet at twice the original velocity. The Zynthian shields, designed to protect against incoming fire from enemies ahead, were useless against weapons attacking from behind. 37 ships vanished in spheres of antimatter annihilation. Another 100 were crippled by their own plasma fire, but Catherine wasn't finished. "Phase 2, she announced calmly. "Kevin, deploy the Sword of Damocles." "Deploying now," Kevin confirmed, hidden on the dark side of Luna. Massive railgun arrays that had been constructed over 3 decades began to spin up. Not primitive chemical weapons, these were electromagnetic, accelerators capable of launching tungsten rods at a significant fraction of light speed. The Zynthian sensors finally detected them, but far too late. The rods, each weighing several tons and moving at 50,000 kilometers per second, struck with the force of strategic nuclear weapons. But unlike nukes, they left no radiation. No fallout, just kinetic devastation. Commander Vrask watched in horror as his fleet disintegrated around him. "Retreat! All ships, emergency jump." "Oh no," Catherine interrupted, her voice cutting through every channel. "You're not leaving." Kevin activated the final surprise. Quantum field inhibitors, positioned throughout Earth's orbital space, snapped on. Hyperspace drives throughout the Zynthian fleet simply refused to function. You see, Commander, Catherine continued, standing and walking toward the camera, humanity learned something important about a century ago. We learned that the universe isn't safe. We learned that someday someone like you would come calling. And we learned that hope is not a strategy. Kevin pulled up a holographic display showing the shattered remains of the Zynthian fleet. You're from the Zynthian hegemony, right? Third largest military in this galactic sector? Fourth largest now, Catherine corrected. Maybe fifth, depending on how we're counting. She leaned toward the camera. Here's what happens next, Commander. You're going to limp home in whatever ships we decide to let survive. And you're going to tell every species, every empire, every 2-bit warlord in this galaxy exactly what happened here today. Tell them Earth is primitive. Tell them we're weak. Tell them whatever you need to tell them to sleep at night. Kevin was grinning now. But also tell them this. We're the species that turned your invasion fleet into a debris field using your own weapons. We're the species that's been preparing for this fight since before your grandfather was born. And we're the species that will come knocking on your door if you ever threaten us again. Catherine's expression hardened. Humanity doesn't start fights, Commander. But we by damn finish them. She gestured, and Kevin released the quantum inhibitors around 50 of the least damaged Zynthian ships. Take your wounded and go. You have 12 hours. Commander Vrask stared at the human female on his screen, at the casual competence with which she dismantled his fleet, at the cold calculation in her eyes. His species had ruled 15 star systems. They'd crushed a dozen lesser civilizations. They'd made a terrible mistake. Understood, he managed. We ... we will not return. Smart, Catherine said. She cut the transmission and turned to Kevin. Think they'll spread the word? Kevin laughed. Oh, they'll spread it. In 6 months, every species in this sector will know what happened here. Humanity just announced ourselves to the galaxy. Catherine looked at the tactical display, at the shattered remnants of an invasion force, at the blue-green planet turning peacefully below. Good, let them know. Let them all know. Earth doesn't conquer. We don't invade. But we protect what's ours. She smiled slightly. And we're really, really good at it. As the surviving Zynthian ships limped away into the darkness, Kevin raised his coffee mug in a toast. To humanity. May we never have to do that again. To humanity, Catherine agreed, touching her mug to his. May we always be ready to do it again if we must. In the depths of space, the message had been sent. Humanity was no longer the primitive species of galactic surveys and dismissive reports. Humanity was something far more dangerous, underestimated, prepared, and absolutely done with being pushed around. The galaxy would learn. One way or another, they would all learn.